the father hires his son to work as one of the dock's attendants. There, he meets a woman. She's also a dock attendant, and they introduce themselves. While on the job, Ben notices his father with a woman he doesn't recognize. It turns out Ben's parents had actually separated, and his mother already has a new partner. In the middle of the forest, a mother and her child are lost. During their journey, Abby leaves her child behind for a quick nature call, but when she comes back, the child is gone. Dylan is wandering around, photographing the surroundings, and discovers a strange symbol carved into a tree. He also spots an old tree with a hole at its roots, big enough for a person to fit inside. From the hole, he hears what seems like his mother whispering, calling him to go in. Luckily, his mother appears, and when he looks at the tree again, it's gone. They continue their journey, because apparently in this forest, even trees like to play hide and seek. Next to Ben and Liam's house, there's a man. He's Abby's husband and Dylan's father. It turns out Abby and Dylan have returned home, bringing a deer from the forest. He plans to prepare the deer's meat, but when he tries to cut it, the innards already seem rotten. Then, at night, while everyone is asleep, suddenly, a mysterious creature emerges from the deer. Ben, who was fast asleep, wakes up after hearing noises above his house. He goes outside and checks the roof of his house with a flashlight, but sees nothing. However, he hears noises around him, and when he follows the sound, he discovers a hole beneath his neighbor's house. As he investigates, it turns out to be just a wild animal. Suddenly, then his neighbor notices him and asks what he's doing in front of their house. He says there was a wild animal and then goes back home. In the morning, Abby, carrying her baby, notices the plants in front of her house have died. She investigates and discovers a hole beneath her house. Just as she's about to look inside, her baby's diaper is full, so she goes back into the house. But when she steps outside again, the other flowers have withered as well, because that mysterious creature is still lurking nearby. At the same time, Ben is working as usual. While walking around, he meets Dylan, who is just relaxing. His father asks him to learn how to sail, but Dylan isn't interested. Then Ben gives him some ice cream on one condition. If he sees anything strange in front of his house, he has to tell Ben. After finishing work, Mallory invites him to a beach party. There, he grows closer to Mallory. They even come close to kissing. As Ben tries to calm himself down, a woman invites him to go swimming. Because she's attractive, Ben's libido takes over, and he jumps straight into the pool. Then the woman dives underwater, removes her pants, and tells Ben to close his eyes. As Ben eagerly anticipates the moment he's been dreaming of, it turns out to be a prank. The woman had made a bet with her friend. Mallory, who walks by and sees the scene, gets upset immediately. That same night, Abby wakes up and checks on her baby using the CCTV. After seeing her baby there, she goes back to sleep. But right next to the baby, the mysterious creature is lurking. A little while later, Dylan wakes her up because he's afraid to sleep alone. Abby goes to check on her baby. When she lifts the blanket, it's just a tree branch. Her baby is gone. Then, suddenly, when Ben comes home, he sees Abby walking in the dark. He calls out to her, but she doesn't respond. Then his father arrives and tells him to come inside. He gets angry because Ben missed dinner with his future stepmother. Ben responds that he won't apologize to a woman his father has slept with. But the woman, she's been there the whole time, and after hearing that, she immediately leaves. The next morning, Abby seems off. Dylan searches for her, calling out, but she doesn't respond. When he goes upstairs, he finds his mother, but he becomes terrified at the sight of her. At the same time, Ben is working at the dock. He passes by Mallory, but she ignores him. Frustrated, he throws trash into the boat of the person who pranked him yesterday, just to vent his anger. Later that night, Ben goes to his father's office, hoping to be taken home. But since his father is still busy with work, he tells Ben to wait for about an hour. Then Sarah arrives and tells Liam that she's leaving. Awkwardly, Ben asks her for a ride. During the trip, they talk and reconcile. When he gets home, Ben hears something in his room. As he opens the door, it's Dylan. Ben asks why he's there, but suddenly Abby appears outside, looking for her child. Frightened, Dylan begs Ben not to tell his mother that he's there. Ben goes to Abby and tells her Dylan isn't home, but Abby seems to know that Dylan is inside, and she tries to break in. Luckily, the door is locked, and Ben holds it shut. Abby gets angry and threatens to break Ben's other hand. Then Ty shows up and asks what's going on. Abby says she's looking for Dylan in the house. Once their father arrives, Dylan dares to come out of his hiding spot. After that, everyone goes back to their own homes. Before going to bed, Dylan tells his father that his mother is acting strangely, but his father ignores him and tells him to go to sleep. Because of course, when your kid is reporting creepy stuff, the adult solution is always nap time. At the dock, Mallory, about to head home, notices some chocolate in her bag. She's delighted, thinking it's a chocolate apology from Ben, and then leaves. On his porch, Ben is peering at his neighbor through binoculars, sensing that something is off. At the same time, Mallory, who's softened toward him, calls. Ben isn't paying attention because he's watching a steamy scene unfold. Suddenly, the porch light turns on, startling him. And that's when the steamy scene takes an unexpected turn. The next morning at the dock, Mallory sees Ben asleep. When she wakes him, it turns out he's been waiting for Dylan, who was supposed to learn how to sail there. Mallory says Dylan never showed up. Feeling something is wrong, Ben heads straight to his house to check. When he arrives, he meets his father and immediately asks about Dylan. Strangely, his father has no idea who Dylan is and claims he doesn't have a child. Ben keeps asking questions, which makes Ty angry, and he's kicked out. As Ben is about to leave, he notices a strange symbol under the doormat. Ben takes a photo of the symbol and back at home, searches online to find out more about it. In one article, he finds the same symbol along with an explanation about the Mother of Darkness, a creature born from roots, stones, and trees. The article also states that this creature preys on the forgotten. This means that children targeted by the creature are erased from the memories of those closest to them, just like Ty forgetting Dylan, his own son. Then Ben and Mallory start spying on their neighbor. Ben sees Abby coming out carrying a trash bag from the basement of her house. He suspects there's a secret hidden down there. Later, when Mallory heads home, Ben notices her writing something and leaving it at Ty's house. Abby upstairs sees this too. It turns out Mallory wrote that she knows what's inside Ty's basement. Curious, Ty tries to go inside, but Abby whispers something to him that makes his ears bleed. That night, Ben inspects the trash bag and discovers its contents. It's filled with photos of children. The next morning, Abby's skin looks slack and her teeth have fallen out. She casually walks over to Ben's house and returns the note Mallory left yesterday. After Abby leaves, Ben tries to enter the basement. Using a tool, whose name I can't remember, he pries the door open and goes downstairs. Inside, he sees a deer skull and many branches hanging with Ty's family photos. Ben calls 911, but before he can finish talking, he runs out after seeing a photo of Mallory with her face defaced. He immediately calls Mallory and tells her that the creature is after her little sister, Lily. But Mallory instead asks who Lily is, meaning she's already forgotten her own little sister. It turns out that those whose faces are defaced in the photos are people who have forgotten their children or siblings because they became targets of the creature. After realizing this, Ben rushes to the park where Lily usually plays. There, he searches around and spots Abby and Lily walking into the forest. As he tries to chase them, he's suddenly attacked by the person who pranked him before. The The person is furious because Ben threw trash into their boat. During the scuffle, Sarah arrives, and Ben immediately dashes off to chase Lily. He runs into the forest and hears Lily screaming. Following the sound, he finds Lily inside a hole in one of the trees. Ben tries to pull her out, but the creature's grip is stronger, causing him to fall and lose consciousness. He wakes up that night and returns home. At home, his father is talking to a police officer. It turns out the officer came because Ben entered the neighbor's house without permission. Ben tries to explain everything that happened to his father, but he doesn't believe him. Then the officer calls his father aside, and Ben heads to the kitchen. There, he meets Sarah and starts talking to her. Suddenly, Ben senses something strange. He sees the flowers in the kitchen wilt instantly. Ben immediately grabs some salt and throws it at Sarah. Then, suddenly, seeing Ben holding a knife and apparently hurting Sarah, his father lets the police take him away. But Ben keeps trying to tell his father that the woman isn't really Sarah, right up until the officers drive him off. After Ben is taken, Sarah invites Liam to sit down and have a drink, but he refuses because he wants to follow Ben. Even though Sarah insists with a kiss, Liam still leaves. On the way to the police station, Ben notices blood trickling from the officer's ears. It turns out the officer has already been whispered to by the creature. No wonder the creature wanted to capture Liam. After a while, Ben realizes they're not headed to the police station at all. The officer drops him off at the edge of the beach and pulls him toward the water. Then, the officer tries to kill Ben by drowning him in the shallow water. Suddenly, a dog attacks the officer. The officer shoots the dog and points his gun at Ben, perhaps still clinging to some shred of sanity. The officer chooses to end his own life. Liam, wanting to believe his child, decides to check the neighbor's basement. After going inside, he finds nothing. Disappointed, he heads back upstairs, but then sees Ty entering the warehouse and follows him. Inside the warehouse, there's a staircase leading upward. When he reaches the upper floor, he sees Abby's lifeless body on the floor and Ty hanging himself. At the far end of the room, he notices the same branches that Ben saw in the basement. On the branches, he sees photos of Ty's family, and also photos of his own family. Then, suddenly, Sarah stabs it, and Liam tries to run away. As the creature approaches, Liam manages to hit it, but his blow has no effect. In those critical moments between life and death, Ben arrives and shoots the creature. He helps Liam to his feet, but suddenly, the creature emerges from Sarah's body and they both flee. The house catches fire, and at the same time, Ben in the car remembers something. It turns out Ben has a younger sibling he had forgotten because of the creature. Then he hears his sibling's screams coming from inside the house. He immediately searches the room and sees a broken window. Realizing that the creature has kidnapped his sibling, Ben heads to the warehouse to grab some high-octane fuel and salt. At the same time, Mallory arrives, asking about her little sister. They head into the forest, and Ben pours high-octane fuel over the tree. He enters the tree to search for his sibling, while above, Mallory spreads salt around the tree. The hole in the tree turns out to be deep, like a tunnel. After walking several kilometers, he finds his sibling unconscious and tied up by the tree roots. He frees them and tells them to climb up, but then he hears a sound nearby, and when he checks it, suddenly, Ben immediately turns around and runs. There's a noise approaching from behind. When he looks back, suddenly, the creature grabs him. Luckily, he has a gun and shoots it. After a tense struggle, he finally manages to get his sibling out of there. Ben, still inside, searches for Mallory's little sister, Lily. At one end of the tunnel, he finds Lily in the same condition as his own sibling. As he's about to free her, suddenly, Ben is pulled back, but luckily, Lily takes a photo of the creature, forcing it to pause and pose. Seizing the moment, Ben stabs it. They immediately run out of the hole, but suddenly, the creature emerges and grabs Ben's leg. From behind, Liam drives his car straight toward the creature. Mallory quickly throws salt at the creature, forcing it to release Ben. And finally... And that's the end of the story, folks. It turns out that being a little too curious can actually save your life from the dangers lurking around us. The lesson from this story is, don't ignore the small changes around you. They might put you and the people you care about in serious danger. Thank you for watching until the very end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss my latest videos. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.